Phonological awareness is the ability to recognize spoken words are made up of individual sounds. It is also being aware of what you are able to hear and not what you are able to see. Phonemic awareness is the ability to break down words into smaller units of sound, understanding that each sound plays an important role in a word. When a sound is changed or removed, a new word is created, changing the meaning of the sounds. Phonological awareness and phonemic awareness both relate to the development of literacy in young children in more ways than we may know. Children who are phonologically aware will be able to break down words into smaller sound units, also known as phonemes. With this knowledge, they will also be able to segment words to create larger sounds, also known as syllables. Recognizing syllables will show that they understand that each word has beginning sound, known as the onset sound, and the ending sound, known as the rhyme. The first step towards reading is understanding that sound and print are connected. This is what is known as phonics, which phonological awareness provides the basis for. When children are able to break down sounds to create new words, it helps build on their vocabulary, and it is an important strategy to have in the earliest stages of reading. Developing early literacy sounds make it easier for children to learn to read. Print concept teaches children how print works and that print conveys a message. An activity that the teachers can implement to build on this skill would be book awareness or book handling. During this activity, the teacher can use a book that they are scheduled to read aloud to the class. They can introduce the book to the students, hold the book up, go over the parts of the book, for example, the spine, the title page, the author, the illustrator, or the words. And when they're going over these words, they can either go over the definition or allow the student to tell the teacher what they think it means, and then the teacher can provide information. For example, if the teacher says, "What holds the book together?" And if they have already went over the definitions, the children can respond by saying the spine. And children who have speech impairments will be able to point out the parts of the book after the teacher asks the question or goes over the definition. The teacher can also make sure that the students are understanding the awareness of the book, or how students are supposed to hold a book as far as when they get ready to read and how we read, letting them know that we read from left to right, and students will be able to point out where you start reading and where you stop reading. Letter naming is critical for children to be able to make the connections of printed letters to sounds in speech. Letter naming knowledge has also been said to produce an early encoding process and tap into central processes that facilitate reading fluency and predict reading achievement. An activity that will help develop letter knowledge would be an alphabet matching or alphabet sorting. Like the teacher can provide the students with capital alphabet and have the lowercase alphabet scattered on the table. And when a teacher provides or says a letter, the student that has the letter can say the letter and match the capital letter to the lowercase letter. And for those students who are speech impaired, they can actually match the letters without having to say them, but matching them correctly. And when they don't match them correctly, the teacher can provide support. The teacher could also facilitate this activity with other objects such as bottle caps and clothespins. I know providing bottle caps and clothespins, they can take the clothespin and clasp the clothespin to the letter inside of the bottle cap, identifying the capital or the lowercase letter. Vocabulary promotes comprehension and communication through oral and written words. Introduction of vocabulary words helps students process words having meanings. Introduction of key vocabulary words and the definitions, the definitions can allow the students to relay meanings to words. And when you're providing new vocabulary, it increases the chance of them being able to use the vocabulary in the right context. The development of phonological awareness helps students become aware that they are able to break down words as they see into individual sounds. This helps students identify that sounds create words. When it comes to reading, being able to understand what is being read is comprehension of reading. Reading comprehension includes children being able to draw inferences and identify patterns and clues in the text of a story. Teaching listening comprehension is separated into 3 stages: pre-listening, while listening, and post-listening. Background information is provided in the pre-listening stage. Students are asked to perform certain tasks in the while listening stage, and during the post-listening stage, students are completing follow-up activities to access the knowledge gained through the listening activity. Students will use speech to interpret their understanding. A read aloud activity can be done to help develop listening, speaking, and comprehension. The teacher will read a story to her students, ask questions pertaining to the story while reading, and at the end of the story, both the teacher and the students can recap what happened in the story. Students who have speech impairments could be provided pictures to put the order into a sequence the correct way. The teachers can assist these students by making sure that they are able to recall the story in the correct order, using the pictures, or verbally speaking what happened in the story. When it comes to language, listening, and speaking, all of those things are performed together in order to be effective in